Hello, everybody. Good night. It's my pleasure to introduce Catherine Badgley. Catherine is a professor, an associate professor in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, and she's also a research associate in the Museum of Paleontology. Also, Catherine and I have been teaching for, I don't know, something like 15 years now. And some of you might not know that she likes writing fiction as well. She has written a book for children about bats and a play about Darwin that has played here in the University of Michigan several times. And Catherine doesn't have a favorite food. I think she likes all food. And the title of her talk is Feeding the World with Sustainable Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Yvette. What a pleasure to be here today, and thank you all for coming. This ad from Monsanto is intended to convey a message of fear. And it's intended to alert us to the fact that we're on the verge of a food crisis, that if it's not here already, it's going to be here in the middle of this century when we have 9 billion people in a warmer world, and that only industrial agriculture will be, and its tools and products will be able to help us feed the world under these circumstances. And industrial agriculture is a system that's based on monocultures, mechanization, use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, and also patented seeds. And although it has produced a vast amount of food, in fact, it has also, sorry, I want to be right there. It has also created vast environmental impacts around the world, and it has hollowed out rural communities across the United States and also around the world as well. But in fact, we are very fortunate to have an alternative choice, and that is feeding the world with sustainable agriculture. This is a set of practices that involve family-scale, small farms, biodiverse agriculture, and often a lot of hand labor and participation in local economies, usually using organic farming methods or something very much like them. And what I'd like to do is just give you a brief introduction to the evidence, the potential, and the benefits of sustainable agriculture. So, first of all, we should realize that the current food system provides enough food to feed everybody on the planet well. And the reason that there is hunger in the world is that access to this food varies greatly within regions and among regions, and that accounts for the differences in colors that you see among the countries on this slide, ranging from the overfed countries in darker colors and the underfed countries more or less in lighter colors. The global food system currently, the one that feeds us all well already, diverts 45% of the grain that's supplied globally to livestock feed, biofuels, and high fructose corn syrup. In addition, about a third of the food that is produced for human consumption is wasted. Now, proponents of industrial agriculture like to assert that organic yields are too low to feed the world. And in fact, a number of meta-analyses have demonstrated that organic yields are on average 7 to 19% lower than those of conventional yields, depending on the type of crop system. Although organic yields are often higher than traditional farming methods in many developing countries. But if we do a little thought experiment, if we allocate more grain to people from this 45% that's currently diverted and get a grip on some of the food waste in the system right now, it's easy to see that organically grown food, even with the cited yield reductions, could easily feed the human population on the current land base without having to allocate anything more. This system also has big implications for how farms are managed. Industrial monocultures require very few farmers, a lot of chemical inputs, and mechanization, whereas organic farms require many small-scale farmers, ecological knowledge, and a lot of hand labor and monitoring of the farm. So a very different relationship to the land. There are a lot of benefits to sustainable farming. They range from environmental to economic to ethical, And this sustainable farming would certainly accommodate much more of the world's native biodiversity, which is under assault by agriculture in general. In addition, the kind of food that is produced on these farms has higher antioxidant content, lower pesticide residues, and greater food diversity, because diversity is one of the leading ecological principles of growing food under sustainable farming practices. And this kind of agriculture is already underway in many parts of the world as another option to industrial agriculture, and it will happen even faster if we give it our support. Thank you very much.